Welcome back to Millennials Coast, guys. I know, I have been gone for a long time. I've been dealing with some crazy thing with family and trying to find a fitting space where I could do this from. Um, that being said, this is not no excuse about me not providing consistently. Like I said, it's part of life, you know. Family issue distract us briefly from what we are to do, but I'm back now for good. I am back now, back for good. So please stay tuned. During the process of being away, if we could call that process, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dani, one of my high school buddy, that is just Danny, welcome to Millennials Coast, man. And I'm so excited to have you here. And it's just like every day or every time we interact, it's like a light bulb, you know, new
Mhm.
experience, new ideas and stuff. So, tell us a little bit about Danny.
Me, man, bro. I grew up in a small. I grew up in the. Well, I was born and like grew up partially in SoCal, a small beach town called San Clemente.
Where is that at?
SoCal, Orange County, California.
Okay, all right.
And my parents, somewhere between the early 2000s, decided to migrate to Seattle. And for some reason, they just settled on Renton. And here we
out,
are,
out of the places in
of all the
Seattle
places, bro.
is rent.
World, were like, they just chose Renton. I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's start life here.
Yeah, how was that transformation though?
It was different, bro. Orange County is like very predominant. It's like Bellevue, but like for like just a very bigger county. Like it would be all of Bellevue would be Bellevue. It's not like where some parts are like a little like less poor. I would say like there's more poor. There's not as much poor parts
Okay.
in Orange County, but like Seattle, you can tell like what areas have money, what areas don't.
Yeah.
So that was it was a little culture shock.
Yeah.
And Latinos, there was like different more nationalities here. Like over there, it's just I would say like white people and Latinos, and
Yeah.
here it's like boiling pot.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, like, I agree too, man. Just being able to like come in and fit in as I just a regular not I was a regular person, but just as another black man from Africa here,
Mhm.
um, adapting wasn't like too much for me because it's more diverse over here. To some of like other parts like Portland.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I was hella fortunate to, I feel like I'm pretty fortunate to live here because like I feel like I can talk to anybody and like not second guess
Yeah.
people. Like like we grew up with a lot of Asians, a lot of like just different nationalities,
Yeah.
Latinos, Black people, like especially going to Renton.
Oh yeah.
A lot of international students coming in. Like the previous conversation we had, just people that don't speak good English. Like we grew up around those kind of people.
Yeah.
So
W-
it's cool. To, like you can go to a grocery. I mean, at least for me, I can go to a grocery store and like if someone doesn't speak English, like I kind of already like got a gist of like what they're going through.
Yeah, definitely. But all in all, regardless of where you're at, oh, it's like there's always a difference in culture, and there's always something that a person can relate to. So that's what I like about this place, you know. Like,
I like Seattle and Renton specifically for me, just because
yeah,
Renton you're centralized between like Tacoma, Bellevue, and Seattle,
yeah, yeah,
and it's like I don't know. I consider it home. Like that's the reason why like I haven't moved or we haven't moved, just because
mm,
like everything is here in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, it as long as you're happy where you're at, man. Like, there's no need to. I mean, change is good, but it's not like you have to go live somewhere else to feel a certain way, even though you have like you have happiness where you're at. You have friends, you have family. Um, yeah, man. If you can accomplish what you want to where you're at, like I feel like there's no need of going somewhere else to do that. I mean, you can expand, but you know. All right, so let's talk about you high school, man. It's
High
all
school, man.
it's always a great topic, right?
That was, that's the worst, bro. High school. High school, man.
Uh,
That was that was a that was a different time. That was
yeah,
definitely a different time. Like I was just a young kid, my adolescence, not like not knowing a lot, bro. I felt like I was just young and goofy,
yeah,
going through those moments.
yeah. I mean, what one thing you say you took from high school that still stuck with you right now?
Mm, not take life too seriously.
Not taking it seriously?
Not take life too
Oh,
seriously.
oh, oh, okay.
Like I definitely think there are parts of life that I do have to take serious, like the conversation we had yesterday
hmm
about the social issues going on in the nation, or just like being like coming to be a young adult
Yeah,
and like making serious, like you and like moving. You have a home now, like that's a serious financial choice that you make. You obviously have big bills
yeah,
and like things like that. um but at the same time, like moving forward with that company, but like try to enjoy myself just as much as because like even now I think I was happier in high school, just because there was less problems
yeah.
that we had, like at least as a young kid you don't deal with.
hmm
Like getting older you do, so I feel like that kind of like, and like as more bills and things come, it kind of strips you of your happiness at times. So I always like look at back at like old me, and I was like, dang, like I got to reassure myself to that Danny.
Yeah. So,
That's something I would, and like just having fun. Like I'll try to have fun when I can.
yeah, and plus the surroundings like are really now different because you have people that like have less pressure in high school. Like basically parents are doing everything,
Hmm.
um, and you're surrounded by people that like act like you, think like you, or just basically going through life almost the same way. You know?
It was unproblematic.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So we were just like enjoy any situation that we made a problem. It was kind of like, to us at that moment it would have seemed like the biggest deal, but getting older, you look back and you're like, what the heck? Like,
Right.
what was that about? On
Yeah,
some like
definitely.
kid shit.
Yeah. Man, what would you say the difference between surroundings from where you're at now and high school like?
Social groups, like
So
people I associate with now.
hmm
It's more smaller,
okay.
and just like, mm, that's a good question. My surroundings haven't changed because I haven't relocated, but I think I would say people, just like the vast few friends I talk to still,
Okay.
Jose and Dante and like maybe a couple others,
All right.
and like even they have changed. Just again on like young adults
Yeah.
and like making like big financial moves, you would say,
Yeah,
has
definitely.
changed. And I would say that would be it, because to me nothing, at least personally, like nothing has changed. Fortunately,
Yeah.
nothing too drastic. I haven't gained hella weight either, like
But it's I guess it's life.
change, man.
Yeah.
It's life. Life happens fast,
Yeah.
and if you don't catch up to it, it'll blindside you, bro.
Yeah. 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 So you have let's talk about your job, man. Like
My
the
job. Okay.
opportunity you being able to travel, and I from what I know, the pay is not that much, but
Starting is not, depending on who you work for.
yeah,
Direct airlines, they don't pay that much, but like, given my situation, I was still with my parents, so like I had the best of both worlds,
yeah,
and I got to start at like $15 back in 2017,
yeah,
and then later I waited 1 year, and then I went to United Airlines in 2018.
Mhm.
As I said, I wanted to. I'm a ramp serviceman,
Okay.
and I said I would wait 1 year to have at least a solid job on my resume,
Okay.
because at that time I wasn't planning on going back to school. So it was just like kind of it was just the mentality of like work, you know.
Yeah.
And I waited till the year passed so I can like at least say I had this much experience here, and just for it to look solid. And like on another move, you know, just like bank or whatever, people ask me for like steady checks and stuff.
Yeah.
I stuck with that, and then literally like I found that I really enjoyed it just because of like the free time that I had with it and how the schedules worked. And at a point, I figured out the system where if you have a lot of employees, you can trade schedules.
Okay.
So I would work 2 weeks of almost 160 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, and overtime. And then I would like trade people's shifts. So they'd say, "Hey, look, I got this Tuesday off.
Mhm.
Cover me this Tuesday, and I'll cover you next Sunday."
Okay.
Kind of switch schedules. So I would always fill up 2 weeks of like straight up work, and it didn't matter what hours. Some days, some weeks would be straight 16s, and then the next 2 weeks after that, I would have 2 weeks just off. But I already made my payroll for that for the next week, so
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
That was like 6 months in, and then they're like, I figured out how to travel, so I was like, yo, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take 2 weeks off, and I'm gonna work 2 weeks, and then the other 2 weeks, I'm gonna just enjoy life,
Damn.
because I knew I was making payroll,
Yeah.
so that's how I figured it out with Alaska Airlines,
All right. Yeah.
and then I had hella fun, but just doing your homework in that type of industry,
Yeah.
um, I found like it wasn't the best of the best benefits, but they were cool benefits. During my time at Alaska, I went to almost like a lot of major cities in the U.S.
Mm.
I befriended coworkers there, so like I got to go to places like Utah and like other states that you wouldn't think of, like Omaha, Nebraska,
Yeah.
Tallahassee, Florida. Just like very odd sites, and I really had fun in New York and Hawaii a lot because those were places like I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where like me and the coworker got really cool. He's from Hawaii, so like his family housed me there,
Oh
and
man.
I was like, that's love
Oh
right there.
man. Look at
It
that.
happened twice. It happened twice.
That's
So I
crazy.
was like, yo, that's love. Like I could not complain.
Yeah.
And then like I wanted something different though, but in the same industry.
Yeah.
So I pursued a bigger airline like United, and I got in. Fortunately, like the odds were in my favor,
Yeah.
and they were smaller, and I did take a pay cut. At my time at McGee Air Service, I had at least, I think I went up to like 16, almost 17 before I decided to like end my like job positioning there.
Okay.
And I put in my 2 weeks, and then I was like, "Fuck, I'm about to take like a $2 pay cut because like United was starting at like 14.50,
Yeah.
and it took like the last 2 years to get to like where I was.
Yeah.
But I'm a single guy, so I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind it. And they gave me the opportunity to travel like first class seat to Amsterdam, first class round trip. Um, my benefits are like non-rev, so whatever seats are available, they give you.
Okay.
You'd have to look ahead of schedule to see what first class seats were the most available and where. And it was between New York and Washington D.C.
Mm.
So I had a flight at Washington D.C. because they had the most first class seats available. And fortunately, I made it, and like that experience was crazy. Like I was in first class, and like it was just hella
Oh,
fun. Going to Europe, like this was a really good trip.
oh
It,
man.
the benefits provided me that, like that was the beauty of like at least for me, at least I would say like I really try to use the benefits to their full potential,
Yeah.
and like somebody like at least a worker like me experiencing first class, like that's not something I could say every day,
Yeah.
and like it was just phenomenal. I remember looking out the window, like over the fucking Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And my headphones, like Russ Keep On Going was playing. It was like from the moment I wake up, I pack all my stuff, and it was like keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And I was just looking at the window, and I remember because that moment was hella surreal to me.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like fuck, I'm really in this bitch.
Yeah.
Like, and they gave me wine, like a lot of shit. I didn't know shit was complimentary on
Yeah.
first class, and like I was a non-rev, so like I really didn't know. And the lady gave me some hella wine, and like I remember just like being buzzed, being like buzzed, and then like just I was like, okay, now I'm ready to sleep. I was watching a movie on the screen,
Yeah.
and it was like a recliner. Like the seat literally reclined all the way back, and then like the sun was going down, and like we were just like in the middle of the ocean, and I was looking over at the fucking at the sea, and I was like, it felt like one of those moments I could say like, oh shit, I made it,
Yeah.
Like I love that, and that was the part of my job. Like my job let me experience that.
Yeah. In a way, I would say you did, because like in high school, it was Danny. Danny trying to explore the world, Danny trying to travel, like Danny just trying to get the view of different culture.
Mm.
And speaking of culture, like what was it like? You being from Washington, you being from California to Washington, and then like different parts of the United States as well as the world.
It changed my perception on a lot of things,
Yeah.
and how to like you go from like beaches to rain, but
Yeah.
I learned to appreciate it. I learned to appreciate like being here in Washington. I learned to appreciate the sunny days
Mhm.
because of rainy days, and I learned to appreciate the rainy days because of the sunny days.
Yeah.
And like are the vegetation in the state, the mountains, like the whole thing. Like I learned to appreciate that. Whether it's Cali, it's like sun, sun, sun.
Yeah.
You might take it for granted one day because the sun's gonna be up the
Def-
next day.
yeah.
And then like around the world or in the country, I would say is people are definitely a lot different in just areas. Like New York people are way different from Floridians and Washingtonians and Californians. But like I would say just depending on how you approach people, because like some people definitely in New York, bro, they'll mess you up if you approach them the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
California, everybody was laid back, but like I feel like if you're not from the area and you use some different type of lingo, they're gonna look at you like what the f.
Yeah. Yeah.
Washington, the same thing. I would say the West Coast is more. We're all kind of similar from Portland to Washington to Seattle to San Diego.
Okay.
So we're all kind of the same.
All right.
We might just use different like slang depending on like if you're from Oakland or the Bay or LA.
Yeah. Just
The world, I don't know. I've only been to Europe. I told you I didn't like Barcelona. I
yeah.
felt like it was kind of a little racist.
I mean, like you told me, but like the audience don't know, like how. Just can you read?
Just how they would look at you, how they look at you, or how they treat you would be a
Yeah.
second class citizen.
Yeah.
And just their manners. Like they approached my friend Zach a lot more than they did me.
Yeah.
But I really don't know why. That was just the gist I got because I'm Mexican. That was the best. Like that was the only conclusion I could come up with.
I mean, like, don't you guys have like with me? I would think like you might be able to fade it, like because of like I'll say culture. Is there any similarities? Your history.
No, their food is a lot different. Their
Barcelona.
food is trash, bro. Their food is trash. You would not mess with her. We had a we're like on the edge by the Red Sea, and we're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And like I tried this. It was like a bread ball, and
Okay.
inside it had like some type of cheese. And I don't know if that's just how they eat it over there, but I did not like it. And then we had like some type of like weird waffles, like that's their waffles, and they're kind of like crunchy honey.
What?
It's like a waffle, but it's hard and crunchy, and you bite it and like it's like honey. It was weird, and I did not like it. It was like an exotic thing. It was too sweet, and like it just got stuck in your mouth. Like
Uh,
when you smoke weed and you get dry mouth,
yeah.
it was like that feeling, and like it's all around your lips.
Uh,
I don't know. Like I thought it looked good. Obviously, I didn't like get to talk to the right people. But
Yeah.
that was most of their food too. I only had like 2 veggie burgers there that I would say were hella good.
Mm, yeah. Man, this I guess everywhere, every part, we're just different. Like
Yeah, dude.
we might
Damn.
look, yeah, we might look the same, we might sound the same, but we're like different, you know?
And Amsterdam, I messed with it tough. I
Mm,
loved it. I love the bars, the pubs. The Heineken. I took a Heineken tour at the brewery.
mm,
That was really dope. I went to this castle called Muterslot in Haarlem,
okay.
in the Netherlands. Like I grew appreciation for castles. I don't know why. That's just me. From getting older, that was something I started messing with. Was just like old buildings.
Yeah.
When I went to Barcelona, I was just checking out a lot of old architect
Hmm.
and like old statues and buildings that I think I want to check around the world someday
Yeah.
after COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, that castle was dope. I didn't think I would like ever go to a castle, you know. Oh, a dungeon,
Yeah.
the torture room, shit was mad trippy. But I was like, damn, bro, like motherfuckers was really just getting their heads chopped off right here.